Presenting will be Cynthia Corrales, Patricia Tellez, Elizabeth Guzman, and Alex Kamak. So sit back and prepare to learn some new and innovative strategies for involving your parents and family. And again, let's just give them a warm wave of welcome. All right, I'm turning it over. I'm not sure which one is going to go first, but I'm turning it over to you, ladies.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Corrales. I am the Parents and Community Engagement Coordinator for Ysleta Independent School District in El Paso, Texas. And I'm going to be doing the presentation a little bit different than our previous presenter. I'm going to be focusing on our pandemic. We have not been back in school since March 13th. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how we're handling the family engagement as of now. So when we first started the pandemic, we ended up the pandemic in March 13th. So we started finishing school, and then this summer we started gathering the information when we're like, okay, we need to get together and we need to find out how are we going to get everything together and find out how we're going to register the kids, how are we going to help everyone do a smooth transition. So we started the online registration. We tried to do everything as smooth as possible. We got that going. We got the TIS to help us. The parents were on it. Registration went as smooth. We were able to get the laptops, order laptops. Every student got laptops. Went smooth. Ordered school supplies for students. That was awesome. We even had shots for students that needed shots, drive-by. That went smooth. We gave away over 600 students for 600 desks for students. Over 600 drive-by the same way. It was a drive-by. Everybody grab a desk for students. That went smooth. Hotspots, that was awesome too. We were on a roll. Resources, awesome. The one thing that we were very pleased is when there's a crisis or a pandemic, community, people, they're so wanting to help. Everybody comes together, everybody works together, and woo, we're on a roll. Our El Paso Fighting Hunger came together. Our pantries were always full. We were on a roll. We were like, okay, people have food. People, we even had a diaper drive. People had diaper. We were good. The only thing we were running really low was our toilet paper. We could not get toilet paper anywhere, but we were able to get through that, right? So we were on a roll. We were like, okay, we got this. We got this. School started. We couldn't go back to school. We were back online. So, okay, we got this. We got this. Well, then here comes the phone calls. The phone calls of the parents, frustrated parents, wondering what's going to happen. Parents couldn't get online. Kids couldn't get online. Kids couldn't log online. Kids were dropping. They couldn't even get on the computer because they couldn't log on. So then we were frustrated. They were frustrated. And I'm going to tell you something. If the parents are frustrated, the children are frustrated. So then we had to regroup, and we were like, okay, what is it that we need to do? I would have quarterly meetings with our parent liaisons, counselors, and CIS coordinators. I started having almost daily meetings or monthly meetings with them, giving them resources, having them call parents on a daily basis. You know what? We need to start calling parents. We need to make sure that they're okay. It wasn't anymore about, you know what? Let's get together with the parents. Let's have a parenting class. Let's find out what we can do. No, it had to be on a one-to-one basis. Let's find out what we need to do to help this parent. Let's find out, let's build that relationship with this parent one-on-one now. It's not a group anymore, it's one-on-one to see what we can do. Our district made a web page, an at-home page to give out resources to to find out what we can do to help the parent. There was resources like no other. We were trying to help parents every other way we can possibly help them. We were calling them, we were doing home visits, we were trying to find out different ways to help the parents, trying to make that connection with them, because we just couldn't find, we could feel their frustration. I had parents calling me and telling me, Ms. Corrales, the daycare is calling me. The daycare is calling me and telling me my child cannot sit for 8 hours. I said, have the daycare call me. I will talk to the daycare lady and I will ask her to call me and so I can give her some tips on how to work with that child. I talked to the child and I said, you need to ask for a 15-minute break once in a while. So we were dealing with very different types of parents, different type of children. It was crazy. So then when we got together, I told when we regrouped, I said, okay, there's something missing here. There's something missing. We covered all the food, we covered the utility bills, we cut all these agencies that helped us with daycare, with utility bills, with food. We covered everything else, but there was something missing. There was something missing and we couldn't get it. And I thought, there's something that there's a gap. There's a gap there. So when we got together, I said, what could it be? So we talked to the counselors and I said, what do you think it is? And when we talked about it, I'm going to let you talk to the counselors and they're going to talk to you guys about the gap that we were missing. And Pat Tellez and Alex Kamak and Elizabeth Guzman is going to give you guys a little bit of our frustration and our wonderful solution that they came up with, and our joys that we're having now. And you're going to see. Go ahead, Pat. Are you on? I'm so excited for you guys to see all of this. Pat?
Cynthia, we're double checking. We think we've got her on from our end. Pat, make sure you unmute yourself.
Okay, I see her as a co-host. Let me ask her.
Again, Pat, double check to make sure that you've unmuted your mic. Has she been added as a...
Terry, she mentioned in the chat that she is having some technical issues with being able to unmute.
Okay. I can't unmute.
Okay, we will verify that she's been added as a co-host, but we're fairly confident.
There she goes, no?
Pat, are you able to talk now? You know, these are the joys of Zoom. Cynthia, is there someone else that could be moving forward? And then we will circle back to Pat.
Yes.
Ms. Corrales, can you hear me?
Yes, Elizabeth, are you there?
Yes, I was able to unmute.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and, do you want to go ahead and,
Sure. I'll go ahead and start. I don't know if I guess I'm gonna go ahead and present to you. As we went on, like Ms. Corrales said, we started it back in March, and everybody had different situations happening to them. And as I started in this new school, I don't have the video Ms. Diaz is going to show. Hopefully she's there. You want to jump in? Because has Ms. Diaz unmuted? No?
no, I don't think so.
Ms. Diaz, have you unmuted?
Ms. Tejas, you might want to make.
Well, as we went on, because I started off at another campus, and this campus is new to me. So as we started as a leadership team coming up with ideas as to how we can better help our parents, we as a team started, we made these boot camps, and in the boot camps, we were trying to address parents' needs. And as those needs came about, we conducted those boot camps. And in those boot camps, we were acknowledging parents' needs as far as working with students at home with math, with reading. Our instructional coaches, I think everything's up on our website. You can look them up at YISD.net/Scottsdale, and you can find these boot camps, and anybody can access them. But we wanted to make something parent friendly so that anybody can go on at any time. As we did these parent boot camps, we were on live, and we were there to address parent needs. And there was everything from ours, which was the SEL, the social emotional learning. We had teachers, we had our computer teachers give technical support, showing parents how to use different kinds of programs and platforms that we were on. We had teachers going in and explaining to the parents as to how to maneuver through different programs like Seesaw and other programs. I'm afraid to share now because I don't know if I'll be kicked out offline, because I know Ms. Patricia is going to do that on the boot camps. But we had everything. We have things in place for our parents so that they can go in and look. And as parents needed support, we're there to support them. And so part of the our communication with parents was, through phone, online, and having those boot camps, I think, helped. And we addressed everything from the librarian, how to check out books virtually, how to work with your children with manipulatives, reading instruction. So we have a lot of that support online, and ours as a district, we have our district webpage, but we also have our own in-school webpage, which has a lot of resources for our parents and for our students. And so, and here's ours. It was just a small part of the SEL. Right now, as to date, we have about 10 boot camps in our resources in our website. And so it's nice that parents can look back at those and have those tips. And so as I'm speaking as a school counselor, I have found that open communication with parents has been key. Yes, we email, text, and communicate via Class Dojo online or virtually. We have links, too many links, to more links, and that's all great because that's how we're communicating now. That's all new to us now. But at the same time, it tends to be a little bit impersonal, and yet, just like Ms. Corrales has mentioned, so what I felt that calmed and reassured parents more was a simple phone call. Building those relationships was so important at the beginning. As my experience started virtually back in March at a different campus, the school districts were getting going, that we were setting up platforms and getting going virtually. But of course, at that time, not all students had computers. And so they were just getting going with all that. And my thing, at least in my campus and my feeder area, was that we started reaching out to parents via telephone, simple telephone call, building those relationships, asking what they needed and helping them. I set up schedules too. I was calling parents daily, the grade levels, by classrooms, and so that I wouldn't miss anybody, and call back if they weren't there, and I left messages, and parents were very gracious, very, very, and sometimes I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I'm bothering, but no, they were very grateful and gracious that we were calling, that we were checking up on them, and how they could go into our, we went to show them how, I wanted to get to show them and offer the resources that we had, and going into, so they can be able to navigate and going through all the resources available. Our guidance department, our counseling department was very helpful. Our state and federal programs, everybody that we would call, they were there offering us resources, and that we would turn around and place these resources on our websites. So as a district, everyone was very helpful. We were working all together, and they still continue to provide that. So those simple phone calls made a difference in offering those reassurances to parents that we were here to help. And then this year, working in a new campus, I'm blessed to work with amazing people. Pat is one of my partner in counseling. Usually I'm working with the pre-K through second grade students, and she works with third through sixth grade. But it's I guess it's a positive to have a partner, because when we do provide lessons to parents, we're able to provide them in English, provide them in Spanish, and I think we're able to communicate more with parents and be able to address more parent needs. And so it was important as well to make contact with families, especially in a new campus, and offering them help or simply to listen to them. And as parents and teachers reached out to us for help, the quickest way to reach out was via phone. And I've experienced that as I reach out to families, I'm finding out about grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, neighbors who are offering to help in this virtual learning. They're offering to help their nieces, nephews, grandkids, and neighbors, because they're actually helping one another. And in turn, it's allowed us to also build those relationships, communicate, and get, and also have those numbers, those contact numbers available so that we can talk to them. And I know Ms. Corrales mentioned kids at daycare. That was so important to also communicate with the daycares, because our kiddos were having issues at the daycares, and they missed their parents. They didn't want to be online all day. So it's important to reach out and communicate with one another and be able to help one another. And so far, everybody, I mean, yes, we've had our ups and downs, but we've stuck with it and continued. And it's been the case with students. We need to help them log on, or we need to provide them a hotspot. We don't do it all. We have help. We contact the right people to help. Our librarian takes care of the hotspots. Our technology teacher takes care of different items. We call central office for different resources. And so in that, for students to continue succeeding, we've got to all work together. And I think that's what we've all pulled together in our district. And we continue to listen to our parents' concerns. So when we put our SEL bootcamp in place, we focused on giving parents tips for communicating with their children and their teachers. We let them know that now more than ever, it was important to make quality time to communicate with and listen to their children on a daily basis. And that it was important to genuinely listen to them with an open heart and to what their children were telling them. All of us were frustrated, and I personally was thinking back and thinking, oh my goodness, my kids are already off to college, and this, my last one left this year, but I was thinking, oh my goodness, imagine myself with the 3 kids at home during virtual learning. It would have been very, very tough. And so I hats off to parents and grandparents and everybody who are helping in those homes. And again, we can't emphasize enough to them the importance of the daily communication to cultivate the strong and positive relationships with their children. We also let them know about the importance of communicating with their children's teachers, reassured them that it was okay to ask for help. Still to this day, we still have some that, they hesitate to ask for help, but we're here. That's what we're here for. We're here to provide a service for kids and for their parents and the families. And so just reassuring them that we're here for them and here to help them and anything that they need. And letting them know that it takes all of us to work together to help their child succeed. And again, we provide their newsletters, calendars, our web pages full of resources, our district web pages full of resources. So there's a lot of help out there for students and parents, and they just need to pull together and help. And as we continue to emphasize to our parents that we're all in this together, we also focused our presentation on those choosing those positive attitudes. I know sometimes some of our parents felt, just frustrated, and a lot of the ones that I spoke to were grandparents, and they were feeling the same way, but yet they were there to help. And so you all know that our children watch and hear everything that we say, and they're like little sponges. So we emphasize the importance of being positive, you know, being kind, caring, and patient. And because in society today, even towards ourselves, we tend to, even without the pandemic, we kind of tend to focus on the negative and be more concerned with the negative comments. And today more than ever, you know, it's so important to learn to be more positive in our lives, to be kinder to ourselves and to others, to use those kind words. You know, they cost nothing, or, you know, little or nothing at all. And it all starts with loving ourselves, being kind to ourselves, so we could in turn respect, be kind, and care for others. And we need to find the good in people. It's important to practice affirming others and looking out for the good that people do, and praise them and thank them, and let them know that they are so valued, especially in these times. And continuing to work with our parents in calling them and making those connections with them. You know, all our families are facing different situations. Some parents are working from home. Some siblings the older siblings are helping their parents or grandparents, you know, helping the younger ones do their work, or just simply log in. Some households have parents working. Other households have single parents working from home or going to work, and other students are at daycare. You know, my experience just weeks ago, before we went into the intercession, is just families. There's families grieving loved ones. We have families who've lost their homes, and students and parents who are going through anxieties. And you know, like Ms. Corrales had mentioned before, our city has provided a lot of services for families, for our community, and our district continues to offer resources and for families, and our departments, our district departments have been amazing in helping us with these families and trying to get them into what is called the rebuild rapid housing for homeless parents. And so it's just been a community effort, and it's like that saying, you know, it takes a village. And so that's how we've been. And so I guess as we continue to navigate through this virtual world, the new normal, it's very important that we all be mindful of the different situations that our families, our co-workers are facing, and simply be supportive and continue being flexible. It's a time where we need to be flexible, and I know teachers work so hard and are continue to work so hard. And I guess I want to share a story with you that is like endearing to me, because it just happened like a week ago actually. And Ms. Baez and I had given our teachers some workshops on the protocols, the suicide protocols, CPS protocols, SEL, and all of those. And so I guess in their minds, of course, teachers are always watching what their students do. And so I had a teacher that our principal texted us, and he said, and we were in the middle of a meeting, and so he texted and said, you know what, can you check up on this parent? The teacher thinks the student was left alone. It was early in the morning. It was like 7:30. And so immediately, you know, I looked up the number. I said, let me call first and let me see what's going on. And I called, and the mom answers, because he wanted to send the authorities, right? So I said, hold on, let's see if we can contact parent. And so I was able to make contact with parent, and I asked the parent, you know, is your child logged on? You know, I introduced myself and told her who I was, and she says, oh, did he disconnect? He's in the kitchen. And I was like, oh, okay, she's home. And she was, I'm sorry, it's just that my husband, I see he's falling asleep on the sofa, and I'm just getting out of the shower. And so I said, you know what, ma'am, is that okay if you get on screen or behind screen to him so teacher can feel assured that somebody's home with his child, with the kinder? And she said, yes, of course, ma'am. And so she did. And of course, I text back my principal, things are okay, you know, the parent's home, and I go, she was showering, and we just kind of giggled, because it was like, he writes back, well, parents do have to shower. And so it's just, you know, I know, we're working hard, we're taking care of our kiddos, and it's hard, but it will just keep in mind that we do need to be supportive and continue being flexible and helping each other. And I think that in that situation and situations like that have occurred, in the new campus that I'm at, I always tell Miss Day, as my partner, that I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lost with this hub, because what we have is that they have, which I didn't have at the other campus, but we have it here, is where we house everything in-house. And so teachers and faculty and staff have access to all of it. And so We have all our presentations, we have links, we have schedules, everything's in there. So that's a quick way to navigate and help teachers and monitor teachers, well, not teachers, but students per se, so that we can better help our teachers with their students as well. So yes, those are a few things that on my part that we've done as a school and as a person. So thank you.
And not only are they doing it for the parents and the students, but they're also there for the teachers. A lot of the teachers feel drained, you know, they feel like they're frustrated too. They're trying to do the online teaching. They have themselves children at home that they're doing online learning, and they're trying to teach, and their kids are trying to learn. So it's been very difficult all around. So I think we're all trying to survive right now. So when Skip asked me, hey, do you want to do the best practices of virtual learning? I'm like, wow, what is best practices right now of virtual learning? So I think we're just trying to survive. And I think we're doing a very good job, you know, because we're all trying to do a little bit of everything, and we're doing well. Our kids are coming back to school. Our kids are on, and we're doing the best that we can. Our kids are safe, and we're just trying to keep healthy at this point. It's been rough, you know, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Alex, are you ready for your presentation, hon?
Yes. Hi, good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I'm going to share my screen, and then if you could let me know if you all can see it. Hold on, let it start. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen? No?
Not yet.
Let me see.
You might need to tell Pat to take her screen off.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. There you go. You're on.
Okay, you guys can see it now?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Alex Kamak, and I am the counselor at Presa Elementary. We are located, we're part of the Ysleta Independent School District, and we're located in the lower valley of El Paso, the best school in the valley. If you didn't know, now you know. So anyways, when Ms. Corrales approached me about doing best practices, at first I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then I started thinking, what are best practices? And you know, with the pandemic now, I think we're all going through it, but at times we forget and we believe that we're the only ones that are actually going through all of these challenges. But I know as I was reading the chat, a lot of you are asking, you know, what are you doing? And it's difficult in this area, and it's difficult. I believe that even before the pandemic, it was difficult to bring parents in, at least in my school. And my experience has been that it's difficult to bring parents in sometimes. So, you know, you kind of have to go through whatever means necessary to get them there. So I'm just going to share with you guys. Let me see. It's not going. Okay, there we go. So of course, as we started, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about our struggles. And, you know, with anything with the struggles, at first it was a panic, you know, when my principal said to me, we're gonna continue on with parental involvement and, you know, get parents in here and, you know, get them virtually. And of course, at first I was like, oh yeah, that sounds really great. But of course, inside the panic button was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? If even before pre-pandemic, we were having difficulty bringing them in. So what we were doing pre-pandemic wasn't gonna work virtually, because at our campus, I have a very small campus. We have 292 students, which is beautiful because we get to know the parents, we get to know the kids, like literally get to know them, you know, more than we sometimes want to know. So what we were doing in the past was we would give away free dress days. Our kids love those because we have a strict uniform policy. So you would have parents come in and big brother, uncles, grandparents, because those kids wanted to be able to wear jeans and, you know, wear pretty much whatever they like, of course, appropriate dressing. And that wasn't going to work virtually because they were wearing whatever they wanted online, so we kept thinking, okay, what are some things that are going to, be different this time? So we had to let go of the old ideas of the pre-pandemic and realizing that we needed different ways of trying to get parents to join us at our meetings. And I'll get into that as soon as we get into our successes. And then, of course, the other thing, as I said to you guys, I'm the school counselor there, but not only am I the counselor, I wear quite a few hats at my campus. I'm the parent liaison, I'm the counselor, I'm the 504 coordinator, I sit on our RTI committee. We wear many, many hats. And maybe some of you being the parent liaison is your only duty. Yay for you. I'm excited because I can imagine you have, a lot more time to be able to give into that position. But for myself, at first, instead of looking at the many hats that I wear as a negative, I saw it as a positive, and I'll go into that in a minute as well. So, so how do we communicate and connect with our parents? We thought about, and like Ms. Guzman was saying, yeah, it's great that we do a lot. We do Class Dojo, we do our Facebook page, we have Messenger, we do, good old calling parents on the phone, which is what worked the most. I believe that in the month of August and September, I probably made over a good 400 calls to parents just about basic things. Can you have your child log in? Are you guys in need of anything? Do you need assistance with this or assistance with that? So we needed to figure out what would be most effective at our school. And of course, I'm sharing with you what works at my campus. I know that many of your campuses are probably a little bit different, but at my campus, that seemed to work. Just the good old pick up the phone and call the parent. And then we had to think about how do we support parents and families, because not everyone has the same need. And I know at my school, we had a lot of parents that were in need of like food. So we did have, this year, I don't know, the city has just come together during this pandemic. And like Ms. Corrales and Ms. Guzman were mentioning, we had a lot of help with food pantry. You could drive all over the city. There's help everywhere. There's assistance with bills. There's assistance with anything that you could possibly need. We even have a place called the Children's Kingdom that is giving parents meals at the end of the day. All you have to do is drive up, you pick up your meals, and then the schools are providing the lunches and breakfast. So there you have your child has eaten for the whole day. So even though those were some of our struggles, there was always an answer for the struggle. So then, of course, every time we have a struggle, guys, right, with anything, whether it be bringing parents in or having, parents buy into your, your new pitch, whatever it is, you need some kind of roadmap to get you where you need to be. So, at my school, and I have to tell you, and I have to really root for them because they, I know Ms. Guzman and Ms. Steyes I feel they're very lucky because they have each other. I'm just by myself at one school, and I know my numbers are not huge, but when you have a lot of need, like my school does, you kind of need that second person. So because I don't have a second person, I needed to look at a team approach. And the team approach is always your administration. And I know many of you guys know the administrators are the ones that set the tone for, the kind of assistance you're going to give or the kind of help you're going to give or what your role is going to be and how much of leeway you have to be able to do that. And I'd like to give a shout out to my administrator because she's in the audience today. And I really couldn't do any of this without her support. Many things I'll go to her and I'll say, hey, I want to do this. She's like, go for it, just do it. And I think what has helped our campus a lot too, my administrators have like truly an open door policy. Parents drop in, drop of a dime, even now in the pandemic, and she'll meet with them. I know she had a parent come in to complain, wasn't planned. She took her into the gym. They were like, 12 feet apart. They had a conversation. We dealt with the problem. That's, I guess, the real great benefit of having a small school that you're able to help the parents to really get to know them. It's more like they're not our parents, they're more like family. And the second part of the team approach would be the leadership team. On my leadership team, I have our librarian, our technology person, we have a math and science coach, we have a reading coach, we have a dyslexia specialist, and of course the administrators and myself. And I figure why, because I know it's difficult sometimes, especially right now with the pandemic, to bring in presenters and to lock people in, so if we have our own people who have quite a bit of talent that are able to kind of represent, give their specialty out to our parents. Right now I'll go into the different presentations that we've done. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, I need your help. I'm doing this. Immediately our technology person has been putting together Miss Loya is her name. She's been putting together presentations for parents. They're little how-to 2-3-minute videos, like how to log on to classrooms, how to be able to access this, how to be able to access that. It's been like really, really helpful. And our librarian has been super instrumental in getting our parents hotspots for those parents that don't have internet in their home. And our dyslexia provider, she's just such a little champion, because she's like, what do you need me to do? So she put together a dyslexia presentation, and we had a low turnout, but I mean, we had a turnout, which is what really matters. And then, of course, I couldn't do it without my office staff. Truly, they are my team. I have my secretary who takes care of sending out all kinds of messages and purchasing everything that we possibly could need. And then we have an office clerk who is like super creative. She's amazing. Without her, and we also call her the, I'm gonna probably date myself. I call her the Mrs. Kravitz of Presa Elementary, because she literally knows everything that's going on in our community. And she's really the one that will come and tell me, so-and-so's parent this and so-and-so's parent that. So immediately we find out what's happening and how we're able to help some of these families. And then our teachers, that's the other key to everything. Teachers have constant contact with parents now, especially in a virtual world. So they're going to give you that information of, Johnny's mom this is happening with Johnny's mom, or, Juanito's dad, or the grandparents, or whatever the family needs might be, those teachers know it. And then, of course, after, reaching your team approach, you got to come up with some kind of plan, right? What are we going to do? What are we going to teach these parents? And how do you know what they want? So our district is really good about surveys. And I know last year we surveyed them to death. But from those surveys, luckily, we were able to get some guidance on what parents want to hear, because we might bring in a presenter about drugs and alcohol, and the parents have no interest in it. So the surveys really kind of help guide also what we are going to provide for our parents. And then community suggestions, guys. Our parents in my area anyways are not shy about calling the front office and, stating what their needs are. Or right now I'll go a little more into detail about the things how the other platforms that are available for our parents to be able to share with us. And then the other great things is that we use our partners in education. We have a parent who's amazing. She not only is our parent, she's also our partners in ed. They own a company, and she shows up to every one of our meetings, and she's always willing to help. She's actually got other partners of hers to donate things to us to be able to raffle off prizes during our presentations, which is what's bringing the parents to our meetings. And then, of course, putting the plan into action. What are we going to do? And this is where I kind of believe that you have to kind of just do by any means necessary. Whatever works for your community, you've got to know your community, because what might work for mine might not work for yours. So you also have to know your population. At our campus, we have a large population of the Ysleta del Sur Pueblo Tiwas, which are Indians, and they have a liaison. So, and they're very untrusting. But now, we're at a place where they feel comfortable enough to just come to us. But before that, we had to establish a relationship with the liaison. They went through the liaison through any kind of concerns that they have. And we are sure to, like in November, for example, it's Native American Heritage Month. And last year when we were present in school face-to-face, we had a whole celebration with them, which was amazing, because they felt, then they're part of the community. And then the community also saw them as part of the community, where we're just one school. And it's been great because with their assistance, we've been able to have them for career days, to come talk to kids about their heritage and just speakers in general, and then also help us with events. So, let me see. Yes. So as we came up with the lack of our challenges, and we talked about our road plan, and now we're going to talk a little bit about our successes. Of course, there had to be that, right? So what did work at our school? We really had to look at days and times, guys. I know this is my fourth year. This is my fourth year at this campus. And, like Ms. Guzman was saying, this is her first year. It's tough. When you get to the first year, you don't really know them. They don't know you. So parents are not going to just trust you because you say you're the liaison. They're going to be like, okay, it's.
Alex, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, of course.
We're getting some comments in the chat room that they hear music in the background, and I think everyone is muted except for you as the presenter. Could you make sure that there's no TV or music going on in the
Oh,
background?
yes, I'm so sorry.
Because it's causing some people to not hear you well. Thank you.
Is that better? Are you all able to hear it better?
Yes,
Okay, I apologize. I'm having work done in my house and they were cleaning up some areas, so I just had them to turn it off. I do apologize.
that's okay. This is much better. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm so sorry. So let me start so our successes at Presa Elementary. We had to look at days and times. This is my 4th year at Presa, and I wasn't the parent liaison to begin with. When I first moved to this campus, we had a parent liaison, and I would assist him in getting, presenters and what have you. But we always had a very low turnout. We had and it was really just the parents that were volunteering at our school. So we really weren't being very effective. So once I took over 2 years ago, we realized that if we do it later in the day, parents will come. If we feed them, they would come. But now we were challenged with how do we feed them virtually? We can't, right? So we needed to do something that would better get us people to come. So we started doing raffles. And so because we are in a pandemic and, a lot of our parents are struggling financially, we didn't want to ask parents, let's fundraise, let's do this. So because, they were going to use their money to buy food and pay bills and what have you, rather than, buy for fundraising. So what we decided to do is we reached out to our teachers. And I know everyone, and I'm sure even everyone in the audience, you have that one drawer or closet of gifts that people have given you that you're never going to use. So I reached out to our teachers and I said, I'm looking for donations for door prizes. They have to be new. It can't be a hand-me-down. And immediately, we had tons of teachers. Oh, my sister-in-law gave me this. My daughter-in-law gave me this, or, so-and-so gave me this. So we had tons of things to be able to give away. And that's where we also used our partners in education. We had that parent reach out to someone who donated 2 spa baskets that we're going to give out in 2 weeks. And then we also had our principal donate books, and one of our teachers donate brand new books. We put together book baskets. We did a games basket. So we knew those things would get the parents to come. And then what we did, we promoted it on our Facebook page, and, they loved it. They were like, okay, when's the next presentation? So, regardless of how you get them there, I figure if you get them there, that's the best thing. And then you also have to consider the language of choice. Like in my community, we have a lot of Spanish speaking parents. So we offer both. We do the presentation, but then of course, since we know the parents, we offer that translation if necessary. And we've even done it to where we could do a breakout room where the parent were presenting in the main room. And then we have either our assistant principal or myself do the breakout room in Spanish. Then of course, the incentives, as I was saying earlier, we raffle off baskets, but the catcher is you have to be present to win, because a lot of times we would get parents come in, pick up their free dress day bracelet, and they'd leave. So this time they kind of have to be there. And it's funny because we figured because it's virtual, it'd be harder to get them there. We've actually had better attendance now, and we've had more presentations now than we did in the past. So that's been very effective at our school. And then how we communicated with parents, we have a lot of platforms. I'm lucky enough that I run the Facebook and Twitter page for our school. So we literally do daily positive messages. We give them self-care ideas, SEL ideas. We talk to them about where the food pantries will be for the day, bill pay support, anything about agencies, anything that I'm able to get or I get information on, we post it on there. And then of course, we also celebrate their children, because I know parents love to see the faces of their lovely children, all over the Facebook and Twitter pages. So we do that as well. We also use, our district uses something called Peach Jar, where, we're trying to go green. So we put up all our flyers there. And then our Blackboard messages, which our secretary takes care of, which arrives to parents via a text or an email. And then our teachers use Class Dojo. This is a constant communication that our teachers use with parents. And the great thing is that they allowed our office clerk, she's on the Class Dojo one too. So when we have something going out that needs to go out school-wide, Miss Melissa is the one that takes care of that, so that we know how many parents we've sent it out to, how many have actually viewed it. And that's a great way for us to see how many parents are being affected by what we're saying. And then of course, we also use Messenger, Google Classroom, and our webpage. And of course, our good old school campus marquee. We have parents that drive by, we always have something up there posted. And then of course, how have we supported our parents and our students? It's all about supporting student success. And we know the more parent involvement we have, I know I'm preaching to the choir, the better your child's gonna do, the more they're gonna feel part of the community. And then of course, we also do daily messages, as I mentioned, and we do tips, parenting tips. We do anything that's coming up, community events or ideas that might help them during this difficult time. Sorry, why isn't it going? Okay. So these are some of the parental engagement that we've had at my campus. And I always think that struggles help with finding your way to successes. I mean, with anything, whether it be with parental involvement, whether it be with your life, with anything. And adjusting to the new normal. That was our first class that we did at our campus. I don't know about some of the people that are on here, but the challenge at our campus was we were having a lot of parents, we were having a lot of problems with kids logging on, but we were also having a lot of inappropriateness. I don't believe that parents were aware that we could see into their household and they can see into ours. So we had a lot of parents walking by in their underwear. We had parents screaming at the top of their, heads. It was a lot of stuff that, this is something new. It's something that who would have thought, in a million years that we were going to be living through this. So we had a class to kind of talk to the parents. Hey, we can see you. We talked about the do's and don'ts and just understanding that we are all going through this together. And then we also had a Q&A with our principal on what to expect, because at one point before we became a hotspot, we were going to have our kids come back, and parents had a lot of questions, and rightly so. Will my child be safe? What steps are you guys taking? And my principal and assistant principal and myself had this meeting with parents, and they had a lot of legitimate questions that we didn't even think about. And it was really great because we got to really, answer those, insecurities that parents are having about, everything that's going on in our city today. And then of course, we also did do some educationally based presentations. Like we had our GT parent meeting, because even though we're in a virtual world, we still want to know if your child is GT. And then we also talked to our parents about the dyslexia program. And because that still continues on, virtual or not. And then we had a great self-care parent training planned for this week, but unfortunately they extended our session. So that's been kicked off to 2 weeks from now. But what we're doing, we're splitting it up. We're gonna do an English one, and then we're gonna do a Spanish one, because it doesn't help if you're teaching the parent on how to relax in English, and then you're like, oh yeah, ahora, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of breaks the momentum. So we're gonna do just a class in English and just a class in Spanish, because I feel that if parents are not taking care of themselves, who's going to take care of the kids, right? The parent has to be 100% to be able to take care of that child. And then of course, we have many more to come. Okay, so so parent resources, just like Ms. Guzman was saying, our guidance and counseling program for the district, for Ysleta district, has been amazing. They put together, when the pandemic first came about in March, we had a lot of parents and we had a lot of kids, and we still do, a lot of kids struggling with that social, that's from that campus, gets a little notification, and then you have time, 24 hours, hopefully, to respond to that parent for whatever the need might be. And so we had to come up with, well, we had that in place. And then this year, they also asked us to find a way of how parents can communicate with us. And so what I did at my campus, I put together with the help of my IT teacher. Let me see if I can open it. I put together my webpage. Are you all able to see this? Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So, so this is my campus webpage, which can be found on our webpage, on our school webpage, and it's also there's a link for it in our teachers' Google Classrooms. So, and it's really just for parents, and to help support them. And as you see that
Wanted to
cute
let
little.
you know that we're not
that-
able to see your,
Oh, let me see. Oh,
it
here we
did,
go.
it didn't
Good.
connect. There you go. Thank you.
Now you can see it.
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay, hold on a second.
Share that webpage.
You'll have to share that web page.
Okay, let me see.
I'm not exactly sure why it appears some can see it now and others cannot.
Okay, let me see. Let me try and let me see this.
You know what, that would be the case. Yep. I cannot.
Okay, are you all able to see this now?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so sorry. So our mascot is not a frog. I am just an avid collector of frogs. So, and all the kids at my school know that my classroom is a frog. It's everything's green. So, our mascot is a wildcat, Wilson the wildcat. But I wanted this so that kind of parents will get to know who I am. And on my webpage, it has the times and the days that that I'm available. Also my email. And here we put the actual check-in form I was mentioning that is from our district. Parents simply click here, takes them directly to the form, and then they're able to complete it. I get a notification, and then I'm able to respond to whatever it is they need. We also have information here on social and emotional learning. It has the 5 components. It gives them an explanation of them. And then also our district right now is using for us SEL, it's using the Random Acts of Kindness curriculum. And what we've done, we also have service excellence standards for our district, and we link them to what the theme for the month is according to our service excellence standard. And of course, also during this time, I also put down here breathing techniques to help stay calm. And these are just things that parents can use. And there's different ones here, and they can choose to use whichever one they want. There's different kinds here. And there's also, if parents are new to our school, they can go on here and then get to know a little bit about me. I just shared a little bit about myself. And then again, information on my webpage, how to email me and how to contact me. And then we do something at my school called Wonderful Wildcats. And that's another thing that gives an explanation to the parents. It's similar to a student of the month, but it's Wonderful Wildcat. And it's all based on character. These kids are selected monthly based on good character and making good choices. And we celebrate them. So in years past, we would do this great celebration. Kids wouldn't know until the day of what the celebration was going to be. It would be like Chalk the Block. It would be a movie. It would be something fun. They didn't know what it was. And we always took a picture with our mascot. But being that we're virtual, we kind of had to think outside the box. So what we did, you can see some of these were taken on screen, of course. And then we did like a drive up. We put together little goodie bags, and then we gave them a time frame where their parents could come by with their kids, or sometimes it was just the parent because the kids were in school and they picked up their goodie bag. And what we did, Miss Venegas, our principal, and Wilson the Wildcat, our mascot, did a video that was like 2.5 minutes, and they mentioned your name and they talked about how great you were and congratulating them. And of course, this is just for the month of September, and next week we'll be putting up the one for the month of October. And then we also have the parent resources page, which right here in this yellow one, you click on it, it takes you to the SEL parent resource page for our district. And then it also gives just like a little bit of how am I feeling. But then we also have to remember that we have families that speak Spanish. So we say, ¿Cómo me siento? And, it gives them a little thing. And then just some quick links here on COVID-19, parent information from the CDC. And then also helping your children deal with grief. And then, of course, some self-care tools. And these were gathered from feedback from the teachers. Teachers have conversation with parents, and they would tell me, parents really want to see more about this, that, or the other. So we add them on here. And then we also have the ones for parent meetings so that parents, are aware, like these are some of the ones that we've already had. But then down here, it gives you the information of please call the front office to inquire about upcoming meetings. All virtual parent meeting links will be provided by your child's teacher. And then of course, here's the front office phone number. So that is how we communicate with a lot of our parents. And then the other thing is we also, like I was saying, I run the Facebook and Twitter page. So, okay. My thing just dropped. And that was the end of my presentation. But before I finish, I just want you to remember that, when you're talking to the parents, we are all in this together. We share the same fears, the same challenges. When I was calling some of the parents, some of them just wanted to talk. Like they just want to hear that, hey, I get it. You know what? I'm having difficulty too. I know a lot of them are having difficulty with I can't log on. And one other thing that we did do, my principal and I, we actually went and did home visits. We have some kids that feel because we're virtual, they don't have to come to school. So what we did, we went, so never go to a home by yourself, take someone with you. And we went, we kind of did visited a couple of houses on the same street. And it was so funny because when the kids saw us, they were like, oh my God, they're here at our school, so it was really, really neat. And so just remember, we're all in this together. I mean, I'm sure you wake up some mornings and you're like, oh my God, is this really happening? It's just crazy. Like when they called me to let me know that they were extending our intercession, I was like, what? Okay, I was a little excited, because another week off. But after after the excitement, I thought, oh my God, this isn't good, So, we want to get back to some type of normalcy. And I think picking up the phone and calling those parents and saying, or asking, how can I help? What do you need? What can I do? I think that's all parents want to do, And, but I think also, I just wanted to share, at the beginning of the presentation, I said that I wear a lot of hats. I really think that wearing a lot of hats really helps me. Because a lot of times when I'm sitting in meetings or in different things, I hear about oh, parents, so such and such parent is having this concern, and that kind of helps me put together oh, our parents are experiencing these problems. What are some things that we can do? But if you're not the counselor on your campus and you are the parent liaison, partner up with that counselor, partner up with those office staff, partner up with those people and find out what are some of the things that, that you can do to help, partner with them to help your school just be, more successful. So that's all I have. Thank you for your time. Dun, dun, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And I think we have Pat back on that she would like to do her presentation.
Can you hear me?
Yay! We can.
Okay. Okay, hello everybody. I'm not sure if I'm on. Can you see me though? Or no?
No, Pat, you need to hit your stop video down at the bottom and click on that and it'll put your face on the screen.
Okay, there I am. Can you see me? Yes. I can see myself.
You're a little dark. If you could turn on a light or something, that might be, but there you go. There you are.
All right, everybody. Good morning. My name is Pat Diaz, and I am a counselor with Liz, the one that went first. And it's funny to say that with all of this going on, the internet is such a big part of our lives right now. It's a joke at my house. We're going to have a good day if the internet is on or if the computer's working, because this is what happens. I tried, my computer didn't work. Now on my college daughter is here with us. She's staying with us because they're having a remote learning also. So I'm using her computer, right? Problem solved. So my name's Pat Diaz and I am a counselor. I have been in education for 25 years. I have 4 children. And I kind of use my life and my kids sometimes as an experience. I have a college graduate, I have a college student, I have a high schooler, and I have an elementary student. So whenever something is, happening, I'm like, oh, I've been through that. I can help you with that. So yeah, I've been through. I'm going through everything right now. So happy that one's graduated already. I've also been a middle school counselor. I was a middle school counselor for 4 years, I believe. That was a great experience. And and like Liz said, I do for 6, and we have about 750 students. Primarily 92.5, I believe, are Hispanic. So our community is mostly Hispanic. I know Liz talked about our boot camp. So that's what we did. We counselors are in charge. Like Alex was saying, we have a lot of hats to wear, and we were the ones that did parent involvement. at our school. And of course, during school time, normal times, we would ask them to come in. But what we decided this year was that we were going to do our boot camps. And I'll go ahead and share right now some of the boot camps that we have done. And I'm going to share my screen. I hope y'all can see it. Okay, so this is our home screen here. And every Tuesday and Thursday, what we did we went live stream and we did a boot camp. So what happened was last year, at the beginning of March, we were able to set up a Scottsdale at home, and we call it like our one-stop shop for like our parents. So they are used to using this button here where they go ahead and click on it, and everything they need as a parent is on this page. So we have our calendar here that tells them, and we have different activities like wear your hat today and wear green, just to get the kids engaged. And we also post our boot camps on our family calendar. So if you were to click on that, you'd see our family calendar. Yes.
Pat, real quick, Pat. Do you have two of your computers on? Because your echo's pretty bad. You're echoing.
Hold on. No, I turned it off. Can you hear me? Is it still echoing?
A little bit. How about
Yes.
just I bet lower it a little bit, lower it down a little bit. Yeah. You were good at the beginning.
Okay, is it better? I'm lowering it there.
I would say lower it just a little bit more.
Okay, how about there?
And then,
Can you hear me better now?
we can hear you. It's just got an echo, and somebody had written in the chat room that you could go in and go into your settings and disable echo. And we can't do that for you because that's from your side of the computer. But we can understand you, Pat, so if you need to just keep continuing, we understand. But there's a definite echo. Pat, are you still there? Pat, I think you might have muted yourself. We can no longer hear you. Are you there?
I'm here. I just keep getting muted there. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right, I'm sorry. So here is my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here we have our Scottsdale at home, and if you click on that, parents know how to get to this website. And what we did is we have our parent boot camp here. So parents can come in here and click on the icon to get to the training that the live link that we were going to use that Tuesday or Thursday. But if you click here, just in case the parents were not able to make it, either because they were at work or sometimes you just don't want to be on the computer more than all of us are working at home. So we figured let's go ahead and record them. So we recorded all our boot camps, and we have them listed here based on the need that we were getting feedback from parents. This was a lower grade teacher showing parents how to do the seesaw helpful tips. An old 5th grade teacher here going through the process of Google Suite Classroom and slides to help parents. Here, some teachers doing the Waterford program for the pre-K students. So sometimes we talk to parents. We talk to parents and they forget, or this is a good reference to go back to. Can't see the boot camps. Okay, I'm not sure why we can't see the boot camps here. Can you see it?
No, ma'am.
No.
It's
Oh,
kind of stuck on that one screen that says Scottsdale at Home, Points of Pride. That's all that we have seen the entire time.
okay, I'm gonna try it again.
Okay.
Okay, are you able to see them? Maybe it's just my internet. I'm not sure what's happening.
Pat,
No.
hit screen share again, and then it's going to pop up all of your different screens that you have open, and you'll have to select which one you want us to see.
Okay. Let me try again. I gotcha. Can you see that now?
No, you're still on the same screen.
I tried that. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I'm not able to share my screen.
For time's sake, Pat, we probably need to move forward, and if you just want to tell them about the boot camp.
Okay,
Oh, perfect.
I'll go ahead and do that.
It just
So,
came up.
oh, it did?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can see it.
Yes.
Show Pat recordings. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am. We can see that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lord. Okay, so, oh, I'm going to use the same techniques I tell my parents. Just take a breather. It's okay. So here we have all our past boot camp recordings where parents are able to go back and refer to for different grade levels, different skills that or questions they might have. Here's the library one. AR is big at our school, where kids read and answer or take a test and have points. So the librarian went through the process of showing the parents where to go, what to click, how to get an AR book. Here, math manipulatives, where we know math is visual and a concrete. You know, you need concrete, and so we don't have that. Some kids have manipulatives at home, but our math coach here showed parents how to use manipulatives on the computer to help their kids. Imagine math. Any of our programs here, we went ahead and give them some tips, and here are tips to ease on our online frustrations. That was my partner and I giving a presentation to the parents. So we just decided that this would be a great idea to have, so that they can go, or we can refer them to, if the parents are calling us and they're not sure on how to do something. It's an easy way to go back and give them the resource that they need. So, and it actually, it's been working very well. Our principal has gotten a lot of positive feedback from this. So I mean, we're doing what we can to help. And I know, like Alex said, we're all in this same situation. And it's great to see other ideas where sometimes we try it in our community and maybe it doesn't work, but maybe it does. So and these are open to anybody if you'd like to go back and maybe just take a quick look at some of the videos that we've done. And we only kept them to 30 minutes just because we figured that was a good time. We didn't want to spend too much time on the computer, with the recordings, because we know sometimes parents have been on the computer themselves all day. So, and I thank you for being patient with us. I don't know what happened today. We practiced yesterday, but that's the beauty of technology. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. I appreciate you guys. This is just part of what parents and teachers all across the country are dealing with on a daily basis. It's those frustrations that you try to be prepared for, you plan for, but technology sometimes is a tough thing to conquer, and we understand that. But we appreciate you guys staying the course and staying with us, and we really do appreciate it. Cynthia, are you guys finished, or because we've got some questions we want to ask but I want to make sure you guys are finished with the presentation.
Yes, we are. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, Cynthia, let me just do the video. It's 2 minutes.
Okay.
End it with a laugh. We gotta end it with a laugh.
Perfect. Well, we love to laugh, so you just.
Yes. So we were actually on the world news. I don't know if some of you got to see this cute little video, We Are Toast. Let me just share it with you.
Pregnancy test of Smart Countdown gives unmistakably clear results written in words, over 99% accurate, absolute clarity when you need it most.
Can everyone hear me? But we'll try and discuss.
Guys, what happened? She left the meeting. Yeah, she left the meeting. It kicked her out the internet. Yeah. Can you guys see me? All of you guys. I see that there's a little record sign at the top of the screen. So the teacher's recording this. She can watch us and see that we're not behaving. Yeah, I know. And the principal. Yeah, we know. That should be serious. I'm just moving my mic because I don't want to talk. So we should be behaved. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. My mom told me that. I mean, goodness. Because if the principal finds out that the video of if we were being bad right now, she would see us being very bad, and we would be in big trouble with our parents. Well, we're definitely Where's talking? Those things, we're in trouble. Not toast. Guys, you guys have our number, our phone. And whoever said we'll be toast, whoever said that, I'll maybe have toast for breakfast tomorrow. I said that. That sounds really good. You don't, that's fine. You don't know our number. I said with toast and egg, that sounds really good with lettuce. Not eggs.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Pat. That definitely made me smile. That was great. Thank you so much. We're going to ask a few questions that were asked during the presentation. But before I do again, I just want to thank you for your patience as we work through this. Oftentimes it's the bandwidth of different computers that can cause us some grief and things that are out of everyone's control, but we appreciate everyone's patience. But most of all, we appreciate Ysleta just staying the course and sticking to it, and you did a great job. One of the things I especially want to thank you guys for, when Skip spoke to you guys, one of the things that he asked is that you shared both your struggles and your successes. And we appreciate your transparency, because the bottom line is, in the world that we live in right now, sorry, I forgot I'm supposed to have these in. I took off my headphones because they're making my face black. They're so old, they're disintegrating on my face and in my hair. So anyway, but we really do appreciate you taking the time to share, but most of all, we appreciate your transparency. You shared both your successes and your struggles. And the bottom line is, during this time of COVID, that's what life is. It's a series of successes and a series of struggles. So we so much appreciate your transparency. We appreciate you sharing all of that information. So here's a couple of questions that we got. One said, do y'all teach specific virtual classes for families during the COVID? And if so, what are your most successful times that you have found that you get the best bang for your buck? Do you want to share, Ms. Corrales or Pat?
Yeah, we just, the parent meetings, we just tried to stick to a schedule, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:30. And then make sure that they were recorded just in case the parents weren't able to see it, and then post them for our boot camps.
Perfect, thank you. And another question was about the secondary level. And I know that most of you guys are in specific campuses, but do y'all have any success stories that you're willing to share or know to share, that maybe some things that are happening in this virtual world right now at the secondary level that's been successful there at Ysleta?
Well, I'm a parent for a high schooler, and what they do is they set up a Google Classroom for us as parents, and they post on there, and I get the notifications. So if they're able to, so anything that I obviously that I'm interested in, I go ahead and click, and I get the information on there, and that's for high school.
Perfect, thank you. Those are the questions I had. Let me ask some of my teammates if they had additional questions. Skip, did you have additional questions?
You may have addressed this and I might have missed it as I was trying to deal with technical stuff, but how did you address hotspots and Wi-Fi connectivity? Because you've been reaching out to your families, but how did you overcome some of those difficulties?
Our district purchased 2,500 hotspots. So what we did is we sent out a survey to our parents to see who needed a hotspot, and whoever answered that survey, we sent them out to our librarians, and then our librarians handed them out to our parents. So the way we handled those is the parent filled out the form, the librarian received it, the librarian called the parent went to the school, watched a little 2-3 minute video, and then they received the hotspot. And it was like a 24-hour turnaround. So it was really quick that they received it.
Did you use the CARES Act fund to pay for those hotspots, or did you use Title I funds? How did the district fund the hotspots?
I want to say it was the CARES Act.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but yes.
That's okay. Thank you. Okay, one of the things that I want to do very quickly is remind y'all that we have another Expo on November the 5th, and then we have another one on December the 1st. We also want to remind you about our online newsletter that you could share for free for your districts that we do 4 times a year. It is now available in English, Spanish, Korean, Vietnamese, Tagalog, and German. So we want to encourage you to use that. It's at our website and it's free. For those of you that may not have used our website before, we want to encourage you to go to www.esc16.net. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to see this baby blue box that says PFE Statewide Initiative. When you go into that, you are going to find a wealth of information, everything from PowerPoints that you can use to train your staff. There will be some icebreakers that you can use at your parent activities. We've got videos that you can use. We've got our newsletter. So there's just a wealth of information. So if you haven't been to the website, we certainly want to encourage you to do that. Also, something that we would like to encourage everyone that's in attendance, if you've got some success stories at the secondary level, if you would send them to me or to any of the members of my team, Skip Forsyth, Shannon Lang, Matthew Chavez, or Katie Chavez, each time it would just be like terry.stafford@esc16.net, matthew.chavez@esc16, shannon.lang, same thing all the way through. One of the things that we have found, the biggest challenges oftentimes in parent and family engagement is at the secondary level. So we would love to hear some success stories, and then we can all get together. And I know that a Facebook page has been built for the Texas PFE liaisons. So for those of you that maybe haven't kind of kept up in the chat room, just while we were having these meetings, somebody set up a Facebook page for us to be able to get together. So you can go into Facebook and type in Texas PFE liaisons and sign up for that. And certainly my staff will kind of monitor that page as well. And hopefully we can get you some resources and things that'll help you do your job better, and or not necessarily better, but certainly offer more options for you to use with your parents. We're excited that this was such a successful first meeting. And again, I want to give a big thank you to both Arlington and Ysleta for taking time out of what we know is an extremely busy schedule. And we appreciate you so much for coming. But before I turn off, Shannon, any other questions that we need to address? Katie? Skip? Okay, what we want to do is just like before, we want to give you a big wave to tell you what a wonderful job you did, Ysleta. Woohoo! And we look forward to seeing everybody on the next November the 5th. And we look forward to seeing you again on December the 1st. Thanks to everyone. Stay safe and be successful.